When you need legal guidance, MyLegalWhiz is your convenient online legal resource and assistant. Start by going to credits.mylegalwiz.com. Once logged in, type, for example, MGCQ, which stands for Modified General Community Quarantine, and all information related to MGCQ will appear. Click the link and you'll see guidelines for areas under MGCQ. If you need assistance, we have Leia. Leia stands for Legal Engineer Assistant. She helps in doing legal research and writing documents. But before that, you need to know how to use Leia's page. First is the drop-down menu. This allows you to choose what type of document, task, or request you need from Leia. Then type your request or concern. In this text box, you can ask any legal question that you have for Leia. For example, if you're a landlord and you want to know if you can start collecting rent during ECQ, it's just as easy as typing your question. You can even attach a file for Leia's reference. You'll receive an email confirming that we have received your inquiry. In a short while, you'll receive a notification with Leia's response. Go to your inbox, click View, and see the answer. Let's try to search for another topic. All information related to video conferencing will appear. MyLegalWhiz also allows you to download forms for a specific amount of credits. You can do that by selecting Legal Forms in the menu bar. Let's say you want to download a training agreement form. Click the green button so you can fully download it. You may download it in different file formats found in the upper right corner. You can now use it for your intended purposes. Can't find what you're looking for? Ask Leia. And that's why MyLegalWhiz is the best digital legal assistant.
Ayun. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Patrick.
Good evening,
Yes.
Dex.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about MyLegalWhiz and the current technology trends in the legal landscape. And later, gusto natin pag-usapan yung issue, a legal issue that is very prevalent this pandemic. So iimbitahan natin ang kaibigan natin na abogado later. So Patrick, how's everything? This
We're doing really good. So well, for those of you who are watching na baka who have joined us before, you might know na I'm from Bacolod City. Dito po sa Bacolod, naka-MECQ po tayo ulit. Pero
di pa ba na-list dyan?
Di pa eh. So we're probably sabi nila it might last till the 30th. There's a possibility it might extend, pero well, I mean, buti naman, I think it's still a good thing naman eh, kasi at the end of the day, they're doing it to contain the virus. So we're coping, we're adapting, we're finding ways to really just adapt to the new normal.
Yeah, also here in Manila, of course, we're still in GCQ. But everyone, like us, MyLegalWhiz, tayo actually, because you're part of the team, we're all working from home. No, that's the amazing thing about digital technology. No, you can be together even when you are apart. Sabi nga nila, because of the online technologies that we have, just like what we're doing right now. No, we're able to talk and meet and discuss about trends and topics about the legal practice and legal services. Because because of the internet. So, yun nga, yung gusto natin pag-usapan ngayon is basically what is the new normal and how did it affect the legal landscape. No? Ikaw, Patrick, I have a question for you. What are you able to do now in the new normal that you weren't able to do before?
Yeah, so I guess just to give context to at least for those who don't, alam ko po na those who are watching this, you all know Attorney Dex naman eh, the ever famous CEO of MyLegalWhiz, diba? Pero for those of you who probably don't know me, my name is Patrick Mabilog. I'm a business consultant by profession, and I am someone who is very very obsessed with digital. Kasi po, my specific field of expertise is really on um, digital marketing, digital business, e-commerce. So with the question that you asked, Dex, no, what am I able to do now where that I couldn't do in the pandemic? To be completely honest, the only
Yes.
thing I can do now is I can have a very good excuse to have someone deliver groceries for me at home. Kasi po, well, I've always been working from home naman kasi because I'm a digital nomad. So I work anywhere I want, and so
Mm-hmm.
I get to I mean, I travel around a lot. Well, not anymore now because of coronavirus, uh but my job is this is my job. I have my office right in front of me. I have my laptop. That's all I need. Pero one thing that I noticed, of course, which I guess kind of ties into the conversation that we want to have today, is there's a lot of people who are really affected by the pandemic, 'di ba? A
Yeah.
lot of businesses have been affected economically, financially. A lot of people have been affected, not just in terms of not just in terms of livelihood and income, but also when it comes to psychological problems, 'di ba? I mean, there are
Yeah.
a lot of people there are reports now of people who are feeling isolated, alone, and it can lead to some mental issues then as well. So, I mean, just talking about that, no, what am I able to do now in the new normal? When you asked me that, parang it just made me realize how well, in a way, parang how grateful I am,
Mm-hmm.
how fortunate I am that I was honestly, parang I just feel na parang I was just in the right job. I did not see this coming. Parang alam ko daming mga experts na nagsasabi doon na ayan, nag-e-commerce ako kasi alam ko mangyayari na to eh. To be completely honest, I don't think anyone saw this coming. Pero I was very
Yeah.
fortunate. And yun nga, when we
Mm-hmm.
were talking, 'di ba, when we were talking about doing a show like this, yung goal lang naman kasi nito with MyLegalWhiz Legal Talks, especially po for the lawyers, no, and the law students who are watching this. One thing that COVID-19 has done is it has ushered in a new way of doing practically everything. The way that we
Yeah.
study, if you're a law student, the way that you practice, if you're a lawyer, and then of course it's also changing a lot of the alam ko po, and then I think this the topic really that we're gonna have today, no, is more specific to this overall arching principle. Kasi with the way that things are changing now, also the legal landscape is changing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course for legal practitioners, and even for business people, who I mean for everyone really for that matter, I think there's really this important trait that we should have, which is being adaptable. Kasi I don't know if you've heard about the concept of vertical leadership. Uh,
What's that?
yeah, essentially vertical leadership is this thinking that when we talk, it comes out of this study that was shown from about 1,000 CEOs. They were asked na what are the best traits, what are the top three traits that CEOs, professionals, leaders in the industry, government officials, what are the top three traits that they should have. So number one, they said it has to do talaga with having an others oriented point of view, so being selfless and wanting to serve. Number two, it also has to do with competence, so you have to be
Mm-hmm.
good in the industry that you're part of. Number three was pretty new. They did not have a word for it when they were doing this study, pero they came up with a word, and that word is adaptability.
Yeah.
Adaptability.
I want to share this one. Oh, you're talking about adaptability. Charles
Mm.
Darwin said it like more than 100 years ago. Ewan ko, nakalimutan ko na kung kailan nabuhay si Charles Darwin. Sabi niya, it's not the strongest or smartest of the species that survive. It is the
Yeah.
one that is most adaptable to change. Actually,
Mm.
medyo nirephrase ko lang, pero that's the message of Charles Darwin about
Tama.
evolution.
Yeah. So yun, I think that's the reason why we're doing this show, no, is how can we help legal professionals and legal students adapt to the new normal.
Yes.
We're just doing this because we really want to provide value to people who are watching this. And of course, alam naman natin, my legal whiz, diba? We always say this. Our goal is to help lawyers and law students and everyone for that matter innovate in terms of legal practice. Just the fact that we're doing this digitally and online is already a testament to that. Pero we're also doing this show really because we want to guide people, no, about where are we heading, especially
Yes.
for how are we gonna practice now, especially ngayon, no, I mean in the current urgency that people are afraid to step
Mm-hmm.
outside. They would rather look for online services ngayon. Yun nga yung sinabi ko, on at the groceries people just have it delivered
Mm.
to their houses, pagkain, everything practically they shop online. But how do lawyers adjust now to that, and what are the things that they need to be aware of, what are the changes that are happening that we need to we can so that we can adjust to that. Ikaw naman, attorney Dex, ikaw, what are you able to do ngayon that you were not able to do during the pandemic or lockdown?
Patrick, I'm not surprised na mas marami ako nagagawa ngayon during the pandemic than before. You know why? Before I'm traveling around the country to provide seminars, demos, and talks. Now I
Mhm.
can do it at the comfort of my own home with internet connection, kahit hindi
Yun.
300 Mbps. Wala eh. Wala tayong Lisa Soberano eh. Sa susunod, i-invite natin si... Mamaya,
Oo.
kamukha ni Lisa Soberano.
Grabe.
Okay. Anyway, so yun, mas marami pa ako nagagawa ngayon because of the digital transformation of our work. No,
Mm.
basically, my legal ways has envisioned to provide convenience, efficiency, and accessibility to a lot of people. No, not only to lawyers and law students, but also provide service to the marginalized and
Mm.
underrepresented people. Remember, we are partnered with the DTI, and
Mhm.
because of that, no, we were able to reach far-flung provinces. So one of them is Sikihor. Imagine, imagine before, hindi natin mapupuntahan yan kung hindi dahil sa internet, 'di ba? Hindi ako makakapunta ng Sikihor. But now, because of what our technology, we are actually standing the shoulders of giants. The
Mm.
shoulder is actually the internet, and
Yeah.
then the technology that we have, AI, artificial intelligence, data science. No, we're able to reach people to far-flung provinces as long as meron silang minimum or to stable internet. Kasi
Mm.
remember, MyLegalWhiz is just text eh. Wala naman tayong video dyan. Wala naman tayong masyadong uh, images. So, because of that, we were able to reach them. And yun nga, mas naging busy nga ngayon pandemic. During the pre-pandemic period, era, no, busy pa rin, but mas manual. No, mas
Mm.
punta dito, maraming business travel. Pero
Mm.
ngayon, at least, more efficient and more productive.
Kaya nga eh. Also at the same time, I'm sure baka some of the people who are watching this are already aware. We post this naman on social media a lot eh. Pero we've been doing a caravan for DTI. We've
Mm-hmm.
been doing a series of webinars with the different regions of DTI. We
Mm-hmm.
did region 3. Was that right? No, first Dex, no? So we did
Yes,
region 3 first,
Pampanga,
and then we went to Car, and then we have so many lined up pa. We have
all
region
over the
2
country, all
all over the
regions.
country, which
So
is, diba,
region,
isipin mo, diba, if we did that without the internet, how much
nako,
time and resources and energy that would have probably taken from both of us. Pero ngayon, yeah, practically I'm in my bedroom right now. I have a small spot where I can do a small setup. Now I can just do it with this, and then I mean, we're still reaching. Ang dami actually na nanonood eh. I mean, our past na webinars, we had one webinar that reached about close to 30,000 people. So
Yes,
isipin
yes.
mo yun. If that was a physical setting, what kind of venue can we have that can accommodate that many people? Talagang wala.
Yung ano daw, yung stadium sa may expressway. Ano
Oo.
kasi yung tawag
Yung,
doon? The Philippine Stadium.
oo,
De,
yeah.
pero kidding
Ang mahal
aside,
ng
no?
renta doon.
Exactly. So kidding aside, yes, we can reach a lot of people because of what we
Right,
have right now.
right.
And the fact is, ngayon, we have thousands of queries in
Mm,
MyLegalWhiz. So it's
mhm,
just like a public attorney. It's like a digital public attorney for everyone, not only for lawyers and law students, but for serving non-lawyers, no?
mm,
Especially yung mga kahit nakadata lang ng Facebook eh.
mhm,
Yung mga nakadata ng Facebook, magtatanong sa Facebook page natin, you know that, and then sasabihin natin so that we can answer them well, they need to go to credits.mylegalwiz.com and then ask Leah so that the team can answer it, can analyze the question, etc. There was one actually, wala nga silang titulo sa bahay. I mean, yung whole street nila.
Oh,
So in other
okay.
words, ano bang tawag doon? Basically, uh, hindi nila pag-aari yung lugar. And then they asked a question, ano daw gagawin nila. So tayo
Mhm,
naman, nakapagbigay tayo ng legal advice with legal basis using MyLegalWhiz. So before, hindi
mm,
natin ma-reach out yan. Hindi natin alam na may na, na makakatulong tayo ng ganito using our technology.
exactly. Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, Patrick, there's also this session also, we also want to discuss, diba, sabi nga natin kanina, about what has the pandemic done to us as people, no? There are some
Mhm,
positive things which what we are encountering right now, productivity, etc. Pero there are some lingering legal issues na
mm,
actually issue na rin ito before, no, before the
mhm,
pandemic. Pero ngayon, kasi nga nagsama-sama yung pamilya, mag-asawa for a lot of months together without going out. So yung iba ngayon lang nila nalalaman yung ugali ng asawa nila or
mhm,
even yung mga
mhm,
anak nila, no. Now we
mhm,
want to discuss that with our guest right now, no. Actually our guest
mhm.
is my classmate, no, during law school. MBA law kami. It's in LaSalle FEU. MBA Juris Doctor. So, I want to introduce uh, Madel Ramos, Attorney Madel Ramos, na kamukha ni Miss Lisa Soberano. Sabi ko na, magkaka 300 Mbps tayo.
Yun.
Hi, Madel.
Yeah. Good evening, Attorney Madel. How are you doing? Kumusta?
Yeah, okay naman. Medyo busy ngayong araw kasi nga may mga puro meetings today. As in personal meeting to Puro meetings
Wow,
dahil
wow.
mag-launch nga yung isang project namin na tech startup din.
That's
Yan.
good. That's good. Good
See,
to know.
tech startup. So,
Tech.
basically, maybe you can share a bit of that, Attorney
Yeah.
Madel.
Okay, so narinig ko kanina si Patrick, sabi niya sana daw merong parang last mile delivery system. Nandun lang siya sa bahay. Anong kailangan niya, di-deliver na
Mm.
lang. So, ito na ngayon.
Mhm.
Meron tayong ginawa na MyToda. So, para siyang Lalamove, Grab, ayan.
Nice.
Pero, na
Wow.
motorcycle, imbis na kotse, tricycle. Kasi,
Uy.
nakita kasi natin na super unutilized or underutilized ang ating mga tricycle drivers. Sobrang
Mm.
limited ng mga means of income. So ito, gumawa tayo ng mobile application para magamit nila. And this is really intended as an advocacy. So ano lang, ang liit lang yung
Galing.
top-up na ito. Kasi we want na yung halos lahat ng profit napupunta talaga doon sa drivers. And how did we come up with this? It's because I'm the spokesperson and legal counsel ng National Public Transport Coalition. So ito ay isang organisasyon ng different public utility vehicle organization. So simula motorcycle, taxi, jeepney, UV Express, bus hanggang trucks. Yan, nagsama-sama yung mga leaders na yan and then we came up with the coalition kasi maraming mga common issues. So ako yung only girl for now. Puro mga men ang kasama ko dito. Dahil itong mga
Wow.
unti-unti mga sila nagta-transform na rin sila into digital or progressive way of thinking on how to do mga public utility vehicle services. So yung national president ng mga tricycle, so nakasama ko dito sa coalition. And we were discussing about COVID. Actually, before COVID pa to eh. Tapos parang nag-iisip lang, how can you give back? Pero at the same time, naman siya kailangan sustainable. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng puro bigay. Kailangan mo ng income pa din to sustain everything. So how do you do that? And then I talked with some friends na nasa tech startup kasi like you guys, alam niyo ni Dex yung law school days pa, that was years ago. We were talking about technology. I remember pa nga, invite ako sumali sa LegalWhiz. Parang, I don't know kung na-remember mo yun.
10 years ago ba yan?
Yan, tagal na, no? Pero order ka sa akin,
Lumalabas yung edad,
yeah.
10 years.
Younger pa siya.
Feeling ko, 10 years younger pa rin ako. That was a decade ago, grabe. Anyway, yes,
You were, in thesis mo nun is about MyLegalWhiz na. And then I was asking you about the technology kasi I was so interested. And then, pati yung thesis ko, it's all about infusion of technology with the transportation sector. So ngayon, ito na ngayon. So
naging thesis mo rin yun. Naging thesis mo yan.
Ang thesis ko, kasi naggaling akong trucking industry eh. So pinasukan ko
I see.
naman for the truckers. Ano ba yung problem ng mga truckers that time? So yun. Tapos, we were thinking about how to utilize. Kaya ito na ngayon. So, bukod sa ride-hailing, meron tayong delivery, pabili, pasabay. So, gandahan nito, mga tricycle kasi, syempre, nandiyan na nag-i-exist na yung sasakyan nila. Meron na silang lisensya to do business or operate. Tapos, they know they know that.
Yeah, exactly. So, magandang idea dyan, actually, Attorney Madel. So, pinag-uusapan nga natin kanina, logistics of everything. Pati yung sa legal, pagbigay ng legal advice, how do you provide legal advice? So again, logistics yun. So how do you deliver legal services? So yun nga yung na-experience natin ngayon with MyLegalWhiz. So people just going to credits.mylegalwiz.com, typing their question through Ask Play, and then we answer them. Kung naririnig mo kami kanina, Attorney Madel, yung nakaka-reach na kayo sa Siquijor, far-flung provinces. Diba? Amazing for me kasi sabi ko, wow, because of the technology that we have, nakakatulong na tayo sa lahat ng tao.
Tsaka the information is there. Imagine sa MyLegalWhiz, if you have like questions lang, kasi majority pa rin ng mga tao, minsan takot sila mag-ask ng mga questions or minsan parang sila mag-ask ng questions. So by just doing research, tapos mas reliable pa yung sa MyLegalWhiz, hindi lang siya basta-basta blog or basta-basta ng kung sino, talagang verified kung sino yung mga authors, andyan talaga jurisprudence talaga yan. So they can do some small research using MyLegalWhiz. And it's very important kasi by the time na mag-a-ask ka na ng question or may kakausapin, meron ka ng background information about whatever it is yung concern mo. Diba? So, ang galing, sobrang ganda. Ang lang talaga, nandun tayo sa stage talaga na we're still, or the community is still parang
adapting, transforming.
Yeah.
Yun nga.
One thing I noticed talaga with especially this year, I mean ever since the lockdown started happening, COVID-19 closed down the economy. Para 'di ba? I mean, Dati joke lang to with the typhoons and everything coming in the Philippines. Pinag-usapan lagi yung resilience ng Pilipino, yung resilience ng Pinoy. And ako, I'm so happy. Of course, on the brighter side of things, no, alam naman natin there's so many not so good things happening ngayon in the nation. But I mean, from a positive light naman, I enjoy seeing yung innovations like MyToda and then using
Yeah.
MyLegalWhiz to I mean, to help usher people into a new way of doing things. Alam mo, to be honest, Dex, I don't know if I told you this, but I don't like the term new normal. Kasi parang ang lungkot, 'di ba? Na parang wala tayong choice, ganito na. Pero to be honest, completely, ako personally, for me, I'm excited to see what happens even after COVID-19. Kasi people are gonna start to realize, number one, that sadali lang, why do I have to go back to the office? Or at least, 'di ba? Maybe I can kind of kasi I realized that I can work from home. Why maybe I can, especially kapag Monday, 'di ba? Ang lakas ng traffic, sobrang traffic talaga. Baka pwede Monday, let's work from home. And I was just thinking about it kanina, parang imagine what that would do for the traffic situation in Manila if all of a sudden a very big chunk of people all of a sudden realize I can work from home para at least maiwasan yung rush hour and things like that. I mean, and then now of course with innovations like with the way that we're doing legal practice now. I mean, Attorney, you were mentioning kanina the factor ng hiya. And ako, I know that because of course, 'di ba, I'm a business owner. Minsan nahiya din akong lumapit sa mga lawyers ko tapos magtanong. So minsan si Dexter na lang yung tinatanong ko or si Ask Leia. Di ba?
Ask Leia better. Para
yun. So, but that's very true, no, yung the idea of hiya. But I think what technology kasi does, it takes out that intimidation factor na parang I don't put a lawyer already on a pedestal that I can't reach. Pero all of a sudden, parang kasi yung social media, tignan mo nga again the negative side of it, parang all of a sudden people have the courage to rant, 'di ba? And sometimes say things that are not that nice. Pero also at the same time, on the other spectrum of things, parang all of a sudden when I need help, it's easier for me to ask for help. Talking about ito, like for example, and I think this is something, Attorney Madel, we were talking before we went live, no? This is something that's very close to your heart, and that's domestic legal issues. I mean, of course, I can imagine how many people might be experiencing that na parang I'm not comfortable sharing that with a stranger or someone I barely know. 'Di ba? I mean, parang ano lang yun it's like talking to a psychologist, 'di ba? Parang even that in itself there's a stigma to it. So I guess also because of domestic legal abuse having a personal aspect to it, all of a sudden people feel ashamed. Pero now because of technology, you take out that intimidation factor. We've had cases talaga even in Ask Leia, 'di ba, Dex, of asking about domestic legal issues. How do I respond to this? Kasi nga, I mean, all of a sudden it people feel comfortable. I think that's really something that technology does.
Yeah, totoo yan, Patrick and Attorney Madel. Yung kaya nga namin na parang we want to discuss this with you kasi a lot, no, if not majority, but a lot of questions are domestic issues. Child support, no, legal separation, annulment, violence against women. I want Attorney Madel to talk about the VAUSI kasi ang iniisip natin na VAUSI, yung violence against women and children, are only for women or are only for married women or it's only physical violence. Mamaya, di-discuss ni Attorney Madel. Hindi po yun. Medyo malawak ang VAUSI. So, yun, Attorney Madel, what do you think about, kasi may pinost tayo kanina, no? Gusto kong pakita ulit. This is the statistics sa PAO eh. Diba yung pinakita ko kanina dito, yung pinakita natin. I want to share it here. No? ang daming cases din dito na domestic cases. This one. Imagine, I want to ask Attorney Madel, what do you think about these statistics? Kakayanin ba talaga ng abogado ito?
Honestly, so nakikita naman natin sa PAW, kinakaya nila yan, pero napakadami talaga. Napakadami. So I could just imagine how magagaling naman yung mga taga-PAW eh. So magagaling sila imagine yung kadaming kasong hawak nila, and they just a few pages pa lang nung docket, tingnan lang nila yun, alam na nila kung anong gagawin nila eh. And I've seen how they work, how they were really trained to defend yung kanilang clients sa korte. Iba sila, hindi siya basta-basta. And it takes a lot of guts and a lot of training and a lot of confidence for the PAW, yung mga public attorneys, mga lawyers natin sa PAW, dun sa pag-handle ng ganyang kadaming cases. Unfortunately kasi syempre dahil sobrang dami, minsan kailangan nilang i-schedule talaga yan, yung time management nila. Syempre yung ating mga abogado may sariling buhay din yan, hindi naman yan nakatira sa PAW office, diba? So it's really, they really need to budget everything. Yung time management talaga is very important. And sabi nga nung mga PAW friends ko din, ang dami ring mga cases, kaninang nire-raise yung mga domestic violence, ang dami ring cases dyan. And marami ring cases na na-file din sa NBI, sa mga women's desk ng mga police. Plus yung mga organization, different organization assisting mga victims ng violence nga. Mga NGOs yan, marami silang ganyan. Kaya lang, tama kayo doon na napakalalim na issue ang VAUC, ang violence against women. And actually, pati lalaki na abuso rin. Hindi siya
pero konti lang. Sa
tingin ko, hindi sa konti, but ayaw nila kasing pag-usapan. Dahil syempre,
culture.
Tapos, culture.
Macho.
Pag halimbawang inaabuso ka na ng asawa mo, tapos nagsalita ka, parang dating, ano ka naman, parang ang lamya mo naman, o kaya parang unacceptable in the mind of people. Nakalalaki mo tayo, hindi mo makontrol asawa mo. So, nagiging taboo topic siya. Kaya wala masyado or maliit lang yung napafile or nagiging aware yung ibang tao about abuses naman pagdating sa lalaki. So, sa pagdating sa babae, nakita natin na yung VAUC, napakalalim talaga niya in a sense that it's not just na porket wala kang pasa, hindi ka abuse. It's not like that. Actually, physical violence, yung pasa, ang dali pa yan eh. Ang pinakamahirap would be yung emotional, psychological aspect and the aftermath of the abuse. Yes. Kasi imagine mo merong psychological warfare, yung ang tawag natin doon sa psychology, post-traumatic stress disorder. So imagine
parang galing ka sa war.
Yes. It's similar to that.
Wow.
Imagine mo yung kasama mo halos araw-araw sa gabi or sa buong araw. Ilang years.
Pandemic.
In a sense na merong gaslighting. Yan.
Oh, yes.
Maraming lies. Niloloko ka. Or minsan, yung reality mo, iti-twist na yun, i-manipulate na yun in such a way na parang minsan hindi mo na alam kung ano ba talaga yung nangyari. Para lang sumunod ka sa gusto niya. Mga ganon. So, tapos, syempre, meron pang ida-downplay ka niya nung spouse mo. It happens to both men and women, na sabihin sa'yo, tatawagin ka na kung ano-anong pangalan, you're stupid, or kung anumang names. And then there's also yung, they look down on you. So imagine, if you're experiencing that halos every day for several years, and then, nakatatak na siya sa brain mo na hindi ako magaling, parang tao, ako pinakamasamang tao, wala akong
unworthy.
Yeah, you would feel unworthy. And that is really, really bad. Kasi even if you get out of the relationship, kasi majority ng mga victims, hindi nila alam na nasa toxic relationship sila. So, thank you for them to be aware. And when they get out of the relationship, it would also take time para maayos nila yung subconscious nila. Kasi meron ka namang psychological warfare sa loob ng brain mo talaga, saying na yun sabi kasi nung asawa mo, ganito ka. And pag meron kang gustong i-try na isang bagay, hindi mo gagawin kasi tingin mo sa sarili mo, hindi mo kaya kasi sabi ng asawa mo ganito.
Oo.
Nandun sa brain mo.
So you
Yun yung-
think, Attorney Madel, you
Yes.
think, Attorney Madel, during this pandemic, medyo na-amplify yung problema
Yes.
na yan? Kasi
Exactly.
remember, dati, nag-work apart yung mag-asawa.
May
Diba?
time of-
And then 2 months or even 3 months, magkasama sila. So,
They test
naging
each other's patience. Yes. I
na-test
think-
talaga yung relationship.
You're correct on that one. And unfortunately, sa Philippines, ang hirap kumuha ng statistics. And I'm sure dahil mas lagi silang magkasama, there's a big chance na hindi siya mas nare-report or hindi pumupunta sa hindi nakakahingi ng tulong sa iba like sa police or sa lawyers or kung saan man. Hindi nakakahingi ng tulong because kasama sila nung abuser. Hindi ka makakaalam. Unlike before na umaalis yung asawa niya nang work, so siya meron siyang free time to get out. So this time, magkasama sila, he or she can't. So,
Yeah.
in fact, worldwide, this is really an issue. Hindi lang siya sa Pilipinas issue, but worldwide it's an issue. And ang marami tayong mababasa ng mga statistics na like sa US, tumaas yung kanilang rate ng pagre-report ng mga domestic violence. I've seen photos of women na may black eye na or mas lagi talagang sinasabi yung psychological effect. Yung kinokontrol din yung economic aspect like yung pera. Pero yung babae, wala silang source of income and then they're so scared to get out of the relationship because since they've already feel na not worthy sila, unworthy sila, incompetent, wala silang kwentang tao. They couldn't get a job because they don't feel confident at all. Tapos, hirap silang to get out because wala silang money, hawak ng asawa nila. So, imagining mo how limited or how isolated it is that even if you have a spouse or you have a family, you're still isolated on your own.
Yes. Kaya nga, yun nga, ganun siya kahirap nga. Attorney Madel, a lot of people don't know that financial abuse is part of bawsi.
Yes. So yeah.
So that's part.
Actually, ang marami yan eh. So meron tayong physical violence or physical abuse. Ito yung para sa mga violence against women and children. So physical violence, we have emotional abuse, we have psychological abuse, we have economic abuse. Yan. So
Tatlo.
and then yung economic naman, ito yung halimbawa, lahat ng pera mo or yung asawa mo lang ang kumikita, binibigyan ka lang ng small allowances, so limited din yung actions mo kasi wala kang means to do whatever it is you want eh. Nasa bahay ka lang eh. Kontrolado yung yung galaw mo, yung pera mo. So, yun yung sa economic. Or halimbawa, pareho kumikita and then you are required by your spouse to give dun sa common fund nyo yung pera mo. Tapos ka lang niya ulit ng allowance. Mga ganon. Yun yung...
Patrick, what do you think the effect of our culture also in this kind of scenario? Ikaw rin, Attorney Madel, kasi kanina nga na pag-usapan natin before the show is there's a lot of cultural and even religious aspect on why this is happening.
Yeah.
Diba? So, what do you think about that?
I think, especially talking about the cultural side of things, no? I noticed, siguro this is just from a perspective of someone who works in social media and parang in a way, parang information dissemination kasi I'm in IT, so information technology. Culture kasi rises when there's a lack of education. Kapag when people don't know, when people are not aware, na especially like siguro dito sa context natin, na yung ganito pala na this kind of treatment from my spouse is already considered abuse. And for the longest time, you thought it was okay kasi culture dictates, 'di ba? I mean, ganun dapat yung ganun naman talaga dapat tayong mga asawa, I mean, this is how it's supposed to be in the household. sabi ng lola ko, sabi ng mommy and tsaka daddy ko, ganun talaga. So, but of course, there are legal aspects, 'di ba? I mean, let's not even just talk about the legal side of things. There are ethical
Yeah.
aspects, 'di ba? And I think that also ties up with the religious side of things. Na alam naman natin na, I mean, you wouldn't do that to a stranger. How much
Yeah.
more for someone who, 'di ba, who is that close to you? Alam naman po natin. Well, siguro just also a little context for everyone. I'm also in the coaching sphere kasi, so I usually coach and counsel people, especially married couples. And many times when they come up and present problems, the solution is pretty clear. I think for me personally, it's not because I'm an expert or anything, but because siguro just the exposure that I got. Kasi I read books, I get to listen to all of these trainings and talks about how to coach people and then how to help people through relationships. Pero most people do not know that. Na they really have no idea. So parang ako, I was just thinking lang as you were talking about it, parang that's really why also how that's ako, I was just thinking about, kasi I'm a very solutions driven person eh. So yung iniisip ko kaagad, how can we battle this? How can, especially I'm sure ngayon with COVID-19 and everyone locked in their homes, uh, 'di ba? I mean, you cannot go out of the house. All of a sudden, the kids who are also verbally abused by their parents, they have no choice kasi hindi na sila makalabas, especially the minors in areas where GCQ pa, so they cannot step outside of their home. So, but again, I mean, I guess just thinking about solutions, that's why the digital is such an important aspect eh. Kasi I was just reminded lang with 'di ba, ever since we started doing these webinars, parang ang daming tao na nag-approach na nagsasabi na I did not know that there was a law for that. I did not know that I had that right. I didn't know that I had that I mean that it was wrong already to treat me that way. I mean,
That they have a
for
right, no? That they have a
exactly.
right to protect. Na parang yung
Yun,
ginagawa pala nila sa household is, yung ginagawa pala ng spouse nila is actually labag na sa batas, 'di ba, Attorney Madel?
Yeah, pero ang question kasi dyan madalas is how would you know? How do you know that
Mm.
ang action na yun is already an abuse or it's normal? Yun pa rin yung question. And kapag kasi nasa toxic relationship ka, since hindi mo alam na nasa toxic relationship ka, yung nangyayari inside the marriage nyo or relationship, ang tingin mo normal. And dahil na rin meron tayong stigma or kasabihan ng mga matatanda na yung away mag-asawa dapat nasa loob lang bahay yan. Hindi
Correct.
Pero I want to be clear that there is a difference between healthy conflict or healthy away versus abuse.
Good.
Is abuse.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
Pag abuse na yan, kailangan itong magsalita because that is a criminal offense.
Oo.
Okay?
Magandang difference yun, ha? Kasi you draw a line.
Yes.
That, yeah.
And how would you know if it is abuse? Kapag, well, number one dyan, kapag tanungin mo sa sarili mo, siguro, hindi naman sa nagiging sa Bible, yung sa Corinthians, diba, love is kind, love is patient, yung mga ganyan. If at some point, nandun na siya sa extreme na talagang ang layo na dun sa, kasi nobody's perfect naman. I'm sure one
argument
cannot give love, oo. Pero, alam mo yung medyo extreme side, like, sinasaktan ka na talaga physically o kaya sobrang halos araw-araw ang baba na ng tingin niya sa'yo palagi, hindi ka nire-respeto. That's abuse. Or that,
yes.
Kasi tatawagin ka na sinungaling ka even if tama naman yung recollection mo ng facts. Yung gano'n, yung in-isolate ka niya, hindi ka niya pinapayagang sumama sa pamilya mo or sa mga kaibigan mo. It could be abuse.
Yeah. You know,
sorry,
sige,
the
Attorney
only
Madel, continue.
Is to educate yourself. And that's why itong MyLegalWhiz, it's very important kasi ang daming examples dyan. You just, type it sa MyLegalWhiz. lalabas na yung mga different kinds of Supreme Court jurisprudence. Kung gusto mo ng mga may legal basis, lalabas yun kasi pagka, hindi ko alam, siguro para rin sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang jurisprudence kasi natin, yung Supreme Court rulings natin, merong yung backstory, bakit ganito yung desisyon ng korte. So makikita mo na doon sa jurisprudence na yon or sa desisyon ng Supreme Court, kung ano yung nangyari, like paanong kind ng violence ang ginawa. So yan, so makikita mo, itatype mo lang yan sa MyLegalWhiz, lalabas siya doon. Aside from that, syempre, kailangan mo rin mag-check din ng mga news, ng mga psychological parang researches. Yan, so pag naging aware ka kasi doon mo malalaman if what's going on with you is abuse to begin with.
Yes.
Tama.
Talk about it.
Tama, Attorney Madel. Thank you for no. Actually, ganun nga ang goal namin sa MyLegalWhiz. We want to make it easy to read, easy to understand. That's why when you type, for example, economic abuse or just an abuse dyan sa MyLegalWhiz, you get a discussion of the abuse. Kasi alam mo naman yung mga cases natin, Attorney Madel and Patrick, for your information. Ang hirap pinsan basahin. Kasi nga, yung English iba eh. Kahit ako as a lawyer, when I read a case from a justice, tapos ang daming mga segue sa kaso, maraming dinaanan, medyo mahihirapan ka talaga. That's why we come up with something na we call it knowledge section sa MyLegalWhiz. We laymanize it, pero may citation na. Then they can read the elements of violence against women and children, etc. And then this is not a legal topic, no. We're talking about legal trends, no, and technology. I want to share this. This is very important. This is a book that I discovered a year back. No, we call it The Way of the Superior Man. It's a spiritual book. No, it looks like this. Actually, dito ito. Ayan, pakita nga natin to.
Itaas ang konti.
Yan.
Ay, ito, yan, ayan.
Yun.
So, yan. So, sa mga nanonood, mamaya, tsaka ngayon, you need to check on this book, no? Kasi it teaches men about the dynamics of the relationship and also the difference between men and women. Very important yun eh. Kasi nangyayari, nabablur yung natin, 'di ba, Attorney Madel, nabablur yung knowledge natin or yung roles natin sa relationship. Minsan, the woman acts more of a man, like the man. Tapos yung man treats the woman as a mother or as a friend or 'di ba? So nagkakaroon ng neutralization na tinatawag na doon nagkakaroon ng problema. Doon na nagkakaroon ng away, tapos nagkakaroon na ng abuse. Tapos again, the role of a man really is to be the leader of the relationship.
Yeah.
Nakita ko kasi, Patrick and Attorney Madel, when I was reading this book, na sabi, you need to lead and be responsible kasi whatever you do is just a mirror. Now, imi-mirror lang yan ng spouse mo o ng partner mo. Anyway, Attorney Madel and Patrick, there's a question here sa baka gusto nyo basahin sa comments. Nakikita nyo ba?
Yes.
Si Miss Elisa. Ayan, that's the power of technology. Ito.
Flash natin.
Pero yes, we can flash it. So yan, ito. So yeah, Attorney Madel, we can read it.
Yes. Okay, sige. So, pwede mo ba humingi ako ng tulong? Need ko lang po ng tulong. Yung asawa ko po ng babae, pumatol asawa ko kasalin na babae. At yung babae na kasal, pumatol naman sa asawa ko. Walang iya po sila sa mga... pwede ba yung sabihin? Sorry.
Okay lang.
Ay, asawa ko ng pera para hindi siya iwan. Labis po ako nasaktan sa mga pandulokong ginawa ng asawa ko sa babae niya. Nakabit lang naman din ang asawa ko. Please sana tuunan niyo po ng pansin. Naku, so I'm sorry to hear that, Eliza, and I'm sorry na yan yung nangyayari sa'yo right now, ang hirap ng ganyang situation, lalo na sa circumstances natin ngayon. Kaya lang, syempre, on the legal aspect, siguro
legal aspect, yes.
Sa legal aspect na yan, so pwede ka namang, basta meron kang ebidensya, pwede kang mag-file ng kaso. Kaya lang, syempre, sa circumstances ng practicality, sa practicality,
Yeah.
unang-una, halos minsan sarado ang korte. Ngayon, so medyo tatagal yan. At alam mo yung pagka nag-file ka rin kasi ng kaso, kailangan ready ka rin dyan emotionally. Okay?
Yes.
So, mangyayari kasi talaga dyan, pwede mong file ng kaso, hingi ka ng danyos, pero again, babalik tayo sa punto na yun ba ang gusto mo. So sa
Yes.
legal aspect, meron kang way to do it. But right now, syempre, kailangan isipin natin ano ba yung mas nakakabuti sa sitwasyon mo, sa sitwasyon yung mag-asawa, at kung may anak kayo, sa sitwasyon nyo ng buong pamilya.
Yun nga.
So, mahirap yan. Hindi, I could feel for her. You know?
Yes. I know, Attorney Madel. Alam mo, yan nga, that's what we call the democratization of the issues and concerns, no? Because of we are having this live, nakapagtanong siya kagad, it's like a cry for help, eh. 'Di ba?
Yes.
Pero yun nga, kay Miss Eliza, matutulungan po namin kayo. Just sign up here sa credits.mylegalwiz.com. Ikwento nyo po ulit ang situation ninyo, and then we can provide you with a detailed legal advice with documentation, with citations yan. So, and then kung kailangan nyo po ng lawyer, of course, pwede si Attorney Madel pag we can provide you with professional legal advice.
Mag-ingat din po pala tayo sa pagpo-post po ng message kasi meron po tayong privacy laws. So, syempre, information that should be private, if kept in private, para protektahan nyo rin po yung sarili nyo at yung mga mahal na buhay. So, sige, mas maganda nga po na mag-log in po kayo sa MyLegalWhiz and send us the message para mas detailed po yung pagkukwento ng issue. After all po, bibigay po kasi ng mga legal advice, depende po siya, dapat customize po siya, depende sa needs po ng nag-a-ask ng question. Pero po dito po talaga po meron po kayong legal remedy po dyan, pwede kayong mag-file ng kaso. Kung may anak kayo, pwede kayong, kung gusto nyo makipaghiwalay. So, depende po kasi yan kung anong gusto nyo mangyari. So, meron din pong practical, meron pong kayong karapatan mag-file ng kaso. Pero, meron din po kasing mga circumstances po na kailangan nyo rin isipin, kagaya po nung effort ninyo, yung oras ninyo, sino yung mga maapektuhan, lalong-lalo na kung may anak kayo, handa ba kayong humarap dyan dahil pagka pumunta po tayo sa korte, hahalungkatin po lahat yan ng issues na yan eh. Ready ho ba kayong magsalita? Ready ba kayong balik? Yan. So, ang experience natin kapag nagpa-file po ng mga kaso like yung bawsi or yung mga ganyan po na mga kaso na merong adultery, yan. In the middle po ng kaso or yung hearing, biglang umaatras yung babae kasi ang sakit po sobra eh. Kasi imagine po yun, halos every time mag-hearing kayo, babalikan nyo yung mga nangyayari. So, emotionally nakaka-drain. I'm talking about I'm talking about yung actual na experience. Hindi naman sa dinidiscourage ko, but iba pa rin po kasi kailangan buo ang loob mo. Kung magpa-file ka ng kaso, buo loob mo.
Yeah.
Correct.
Attorney Madel, Dex, sorry, I couldn't help talaga. I was just listening to the conversation at the explanation of Attorney Madel. Para I just seeing her in her element. Alam mo yun? Which I was just parang naisip ko lang, ang galing kasi nakuha sa video. So all of a sudden, parang to be completely honest, all of a sudden, di natin alam, a lot of women like Elisa right now, and even later on, if they watch the video, has access to knowledge like that. Alam mo, ang dami talagang tao na walang access na ganun. Kasi nga, yung sinabi mo, Dex, yung sa PAO, di ba? I mean, with the Public Attorney's Office, with the influx in the saturation of cases, to hear that from a lawyer is a luxury, especially ngayon with the COVID-19 pandemic. Pero that's why I think talagang it's really helpful to talagang just listening to that, I can just see the value probably that people who are watching this can get. Kasi
Yeah.
kulang education eh. I mean, I think really
Oh, yeah.
the theme of this whole conversation is the power of legal education. Ang daming tao na hindi educated when it comes to these kinds of cases. To be honest, like many of the things nga yung sinabi niyo po, Attorney Madel, as a non-lawyer, this is the first time I'm hearing things like that. And now all of a sudden, when I hear, that kind of explanation, parang if I were in the shoes of Miss Elisa, parang it gives me clarity na parang, okay, at
Mhm.
least alam ko na what options I have. So I think
Yes.
really right now, just this conversation right now about the legal talks, this is this is the value eh. Parang iniisip ko, sana everyday na to, Dex, no, na parang we can invite a lawyer to give this
Yeah,
kind of, ano,
well, I want to, of course, invite Tony Madel for our Ask Leia session na natin, na online live next time. So, totoo yan. Thank you, Attorney Madel, for your sharing your knowledge about this one. Tulad nito, because of the technology, she was able to reach out to us and then ask this question, then eventually ask Leia sa credits.mylegalwiz.com para mabigyan pa natin siya ng mas detalyadong tulong. Pero again, Attorney Madel and Patrick, again, prevention is better than cure, ika nga. So again, pinopromote ko to talagang libro na to. So ito for all men and women, they need to read this one. Kasi nga, in the end, yung legal can just do so much, di ba, Attorney Madel? The damage has been done eh. Diba, the league, of course, you get damages, no, you get vindication, but we want to create a better society. We want to create a better human beings, no. So I think this one, a generation, yes. That's why sabi ko nga, Attorney Madel and Patrick, we need to change legal education and teach more of spiritual and humanitarian and philosophical books that will help us in our daily and real lives. Diba? Hindi theoretical, hindi lang parang academics.
Yeah. Ang tingin kasi normally din, alam mo tama kayo dun eh. Ang tingin kasi normally ng tao kapag halimbawa sabi mong lawyer, pupunta ka sa lawyer, parang galit eh, yung parang fight. But it's not like because that's not life. It's not reality. Nasa TV lang po yan. Sa soap opera lang po yan.
Oo, totoo.
Yung parang sungit and everything. No, it's not like that. Kasi meron po tayong tinatawag na real life. And that real life is of not only legal, but also nandiyan yung spiritual. Kailangan mong i-consider yung maapektuhan. Hindi lang sarili mo, kundi mga anak mo, magulang mo, mga kapatid mo, asawa mo, yung community, trabaho mo. Ang dami mong kailangan i-consider. Kaya nga pagka ngayon, ang ginagawa na ng mga karamihan ng mga lawyers ngayon, they really talk to the client, yung katulad din yung mga gusto mag-file ng kaso. Kinakausap talaga sila na ito yung implications niyan. Kung magpa-file tayo ng kaso, meron ka namang legal remedy. Pero ito yung implications niyan. Ito yung mararamdaman mo. Hanggang dito tayo. Ito yung mga expenses dyan. Ito yung gaano katagal yan. Ready, ang question palagi is ready ka ba? Ready ka ba? Buong-buo pa yung loob mo na tuluyan talaga tong kaso na to. Kasi kung magagawan naman yan ng paraan na maayos ng housing courts, much better.
Yeah. Yes.
Diba? Much better.
Exactly.
Tapos yung spiritual nga. I think bottom line pa rin kasi dito, it's really about being a good human being. And that being a human being, it's not just about the legal aspect eh. It's not just about thing, but it's really about, not letting yourself or you standing for yourself against any kind of this or itong mga ginagawa ng mga partners natin in life. It's about yung abuses na yon stopping sa'yo and not being done to the next generation, teaching the next generation how to be a better human being. It's all about awareness. I think yun naman talagang bottom line nitong MyLegalWhiz. Awareness.
Yes.
It's always awareness. Siyempre, daldal ko, di ba? O quiet na.
Thank you, Attorney Moderna. We love what you've shared to us tonight, no? Very important talaga yan. We talk about different things. That's why I love this session because hindi lang legal, hindi lang technology, kasi spiritual and cultural diniscuss natin.
Pero Dex, I would like to know more about yung book na sinasabi mo. Like,
Yes.
in a sense,
Please.
parang, ano ba yung tinuturo niya talaga? Kasi I understand na while it affects both men and women,
Mhm.
it nakafocus yung libro sa mga lalaki. Tama ba?
Yeah. Well, is that your question? No, actually, it's focused on men. Nag-echo ba ako? Sorry.
May konting
Okay lang.
echo.
May
I
konting
think,
echo.
yeah.
Anyway, yes, it's focused on men, Attorney Madel, but the thing is, ang premise kasi nito, men lead the relationship. Men is the responsible for the relationship, and there are different roles. Right? Ang role ng man is really to focus on his mission, his purpose in life, and
Right.
the woman is really the primary focus of a woman is intimacy, love, and relationships, good relationships. So if we understand both that, it's called sexual polarity. If both men and women understand that,
Sorry, just to clarify kasi baka sabihin nung especially yung mga masyadong ako kasi feminist ako eh. I just want to clarify when you say focus, I think you mean to say na parang yun yung innate natin, yung natural natin.
Yes.
Tama.
Correct.
Na parang yun yung
Tama.
So when you say yung sa babae na focus, meaning ito yung hinahanap natin, intimacy ng babae, intimacy, intimacy, yung romance,
love, relationship, bonding, connection, etc. Yes, I understand. The innate feminine essence. Kasi a man can have a feminine essence also.
Mhm.
A woman can have a masculine essence. So there's a difference, no? That's why sometimes nagkakaroon ng problema kasi yung woman has a masculine essence tapos yung man has a feminine essence. Nagkakaroon ng ng problema pag ganun. Especially when basically the innate essence of that woman is really feminine. Tapos feminine din yung isa.
Yeah. I think just the idea of talagang understanding roles is very important, no? And alam ko naman na especially ngayon, 'di ba, when things are changing. Yun nga yung pinag-usapan natin na change. Ngayon parang yung roles also are starting to change, 'di ba? If you look at it now, there are also cases, and I have a lot of friends where ngayon it's now the woman who is the breadwinner, and then it's the man who is taking care of the kids. And parang all the time I have men, and I mean I have married couples, friends also tell me that parang, is this okay? Is this wrong? Is this mali ba to? I mean, baka kailangan siguro baliktad. Pero if you look at that, yung sinasabi ko, I was sabi ko conversation with a friend, so funny, about this last night, kasi ganun yung case niya. Yung wife niya is making more money than him. So parang he felt bad, sabi niya, parang ang sama sa pakiramdam. And I asked him, why is that? Kasi sabi niya, parang mali. And I just listened. I said na parang it just really just parang it I found it ironic na people think that way. Kasi if you look at it again, it's really cultural. We're just taking up a patriarchal culture that came from the West that said that husbands have to make the money, women have to stay home and take care of the kids. Pero to be honest, now there are so many entrepreneurial women out there.
Yes,
I mean, in the business field, and as a business owner, I'm so pleased to see na parang now I have clients who are women who are telling me my business is growing. I need someone to help me set up a system for this business. Parang sabi ko, wow, that's great, kasi all of a sudden, dati kasi pag sinabing CEO, business owner, big time, big shot, yung tingin natin lalaki, mataas, parang Steve Jobs, 'di ba? Pero all of a sudden, I don't know if you watch the movie, ano yun, yung intern, yung kay Robert De Niro tsaka kay Anne Hathaway, na, di ba, yung si Anne Hathaway was a CEO of a big startup, a tech startup, and then parang yung husband niya was a stay-at-home dad. That's becoming a reality now. There's actually more families that are
Alam mo,
coming up.
Patrick, it will be great to have another blog about that
Oo
kind of
nga eh.
discussion natin kasi maganda yan and sumama ka rin, Madel. Let's discuss this
Yeah.
on a separate FB live session kasi maganda talaga and it will help a lot of people in connection again with VAUSI, in connection again with creating a better human society. So siguro thank you very much to everyone for
Thank you.
sharing.
Yes. Question.
Yes. Sige, last
Sa
na. Sige.
Ay pang mga guys, ganyan ba talaga yung tingin nyo na parang pagkahalimbawa, imagine nyo 10 years na yung babae yung main yung breadwinner. Tapos kayo parang you're just earning so and
At
so.
home.
Not necessarily at home. Halimbawa, basta yung babae yung main provider. How does it make you feel? Kasi, syempre, parang, hindi ba, parang kasi kami mga babae, kami na nagbubuntis, syempre, hindi nyo kaya magdala ng baby. Kami na, imagine kami, in charge na rin kami sa bahay. In charge kami, alam mo yun, sa mga anak namin. Tapos pati sa pag-provide kami na rin yung in charge. Kumbaga, we're everywhere. Tapos kayong mga guys, parang, anong ginagawa nyo?
So, basically, to answer that, Madel, the man should know his mission and purpose. That's number one. If it's not clear to him, it will not be clear to his partner or spouse. Yes. So, kailangan klaro sa kanya yun. Okay lang naman na breadwinner ang woman eh. Okay lang din naman that we rear children. But the thing is, it should be clear. Hindi yung parang, hindi mo alam talaga yung purpose mo in life. That's number one. And then, pag hindi mo alam yung purpose mo in life, this is actually taught in the book, no? Magkakaroon kayo ng problema sa relationship. Because there will be misunderstandings. Pagsisimulan yun ng mga arguments. Na para, ikaw, lalaki ka, you should be doing this. Ay, hindi, kasi ito yung ginagawa ko. So, kailangan, alam ng partner mo kung ano yung mission mo in life. So,
also, I think,
yung answer. Yeah.
I think also, at the end of the day, I think just like any business partnership, marriage is also a partnership between two people who are contributing and playing a role. So, yung question lang talaga dun is, if you're a husband and your wife is earning more than you, what role do you play? Kasi ang dami pa naman. I mean, for example, like, probably just out there, no? Sure, the wife is bringing in the money, pero, baby, the wife does not know how to manage it. Hindi siya magaling sa money management. The husband can be a good money manager. Na parang, sige, pasok natin dito. Let's put aside for this. Let's invest here. Tapos, I also have so many friends din as well. I mean, I come from aside from business, I also come from a church background. I work with pastors. Alam naman po natin yung mga spiritual leaders. From a financial sense, there's not the financial security is not that high kasi they depend on donations and generous giving to the church. Marami po tayong pastors ngayon even in the Philippines who are married to women who are gifted in terms of entrepreneurship. Diba? So the wives are earning more money, but if you look at it, the husband is still leading the family in terms of a spiritual sense. He's training the children, he's setting the direction. Yung nga sabi ni Dexter, yung purpose, 'di ba? Na tayo as a family, at least we still have a purpose. Sure, the pay is smaller. Sometimes the disparity can be a bit small lang naman. Sometimes it can be astronomical. I've seen both extremes of pero I've seen men who have a smaller paycheck than their wives but still have that sense of leadership, if that makes sense.
Yes, correct.
Makes the decisions. Who calls, parang, di ba? I mean, the hard decisions anyways. I mean, for example, ako as a husband siguro, there are some decisions that I know it will be a an emotional strain on my wife. So
Mhm.
I have
Yeah,
to make that call. I have to I have to make that shot, 'di ba? Like
I
firing
agree
staff
with
in
that.
our business, 'di
Yeah,
ba?
I agree with that din. Even ako, kahit feminist ako, minsan kasi iniisip ng mga tao pag sabi ng feminist, parang, yung,
Gabriela.
parang, oo, Gabriela na, for me kasi, being a feminist is really just encouraging women to be leaders also.
Tama.
Pero, for me, pagdating din sa marriage, it's still the guy who has to be the leader.
Exactly.
Kaya,
Yeah.
kaya
Agree.
syempre, meron akong personally, syempre, meron akong
Uh-huh.
parang syempre, titignan, kailangan marespeto ko yung decision making ng guy. So, it takes
Mhm.
a lot
Mm.
for me. So,
Yes.
mm, so parang
Yeah.
I need to have someone who could be a leader na I respect. Kasi,
Mhm.
You can
syempre ako,
rely.
I'm a thinking person eh. Hindi pwede, karamihan
Mhm.
kasi sinasabi ng lalaki, pasok dito, yung sinasabi ng babae, tapos labas sa kabila. You can do that to me.
Mm.
For me,
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
speak for
Correct.
myself.
No, I
I
I think
have
it's
something to say eh. Ganun.
correct. I
Sorry.
agree also to you, Attorney Madel. No? Pag talaga you cannot trust your man or you can rely on your man, the woman will take over. It's
Yeah.
called they call it
Tama.
the law of conservation. Pag nagkakaroon ng
Mm.
vacuum ng leadership, the woman
Mm.
will take over. That's why nagkakaroon ng problema. So parang
Yeah.
na-emasculate ang lalaki. At the same time, nire-resent din ng woman because of her innate feminine essence na
Mhm.
bakit ako nagdidesisyon na dapat ikaw ang nagdidesisyon nito.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nagkakaroon ng
Mm.
resentment lalo na pag hindi mo you cannot rely on the guy. Anyway, guys.
Yeah. Dapat talaga may separate na vlog dyan. Kaya natin pag-usapan yan.
Yes,
My
but it
part
was
two
a
to.
great discussion. It
Yeah,
was a
let's do a
great
part two.
discussion. Anyway, we will do that. We will have another session, but it's a different topic. Ask Leia. We will discuss all Ask Leia questions to my legal
Mhm.
whiz. And I want to invite everyone, no, those who watched tonight, and yung mamaya this evening, to sign up for free to MyLegalWhiz.com, so we can help you. We can answer your questions just like yung viewer natin kanina. So first off, I want to thank, of course, Attorney Madel for sharing his legal knowledge and views sa culture ng Philippines about domestic relationships and issues. And of course, Patrick Mavilog. So, Patrick, last words. Na.
I just wanna say I'm excited. For those who are watching, first pa to, 'di ba? I mean, just listen, parang this is the first time we're doing this. Parang para sa akin, parang sulit na. So I'm excited to see what else we're going to talk about pa in the future. I mean, 'di ba sabi natin Dex 1 hour lang pero now we're at an hour 13 minutes. Sabi ko
Oo
parang ang
nga eh.
bitin. But
Di
ako just
bale.
yeah, but just looking at that, but I think we've done something here tonight. We've educated people, and that's such a privilege. So for everyone who's watching this, I hope that you got value out of this, that this has enlightened you, and that it will
Mhm.
also empower you in a sense to take more control over your life, whether it's domestic, whether it's legal, whether it's spiritual, whatever it is. We hope talaga that this really brought value to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Attorney Madel, for your insights. Napaka ano,
Thank
it was
you, Attorney
amazing to listen to
Madel.
your ideas.
And of
Thank you so
course, Patrick, thank you very much. So again, I'm happy na hindi lang siya technology ang pinag-usapan natin. Medyo holistic ang ano natin, ang
Tama.
discussion natin. So good night everyone.
Right.
And have a great day tomorrow. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye!